You are watching No Filter with Debbie. These are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel, and you know what's driving me crazy? Joe Biden, Anthony Blinken, his Secretary of State, and U.S. foreign policy under them. It's a disaster. We have a kick me sign on our back all over the world. They're laughing at us. Under Donald Trump, maybe they didn't like him, but guess what? They feared him and they respected him. And I have people telling me, oh, they didn't respect him. They thought he was a fool. You think so? Really? No. Look at us now. We are pandering to the Chinese. We are sucking up to the murderers in Iran. And it is not in America's best interest. In fact, it is in the best interests of China and Iran and all of our enemies. Yes, that piñata of third world banana republics that make up the UN, they're tittering at us. They are sneering. They're snickering. We are the fools. And if you don't believe it, all you had to do was look at what happened in Anchorage, Alaska, where Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, was meeting with the Chinese. He pandered to them when they attacked us. He still pandered to them. He could have gone off on them. They're the Chinese, after all. They are the country of slaves and slave labor. They are the country of communism and a lack of human rights. They are the country of totalitarianism. Now, they're not the only one, but they are one of the world leaders in all of these categories. So I want you to take a look at this video where Anthony Blinken speaks, and then I want you to take a look at when his counterpart from the CCP, the Communist Party of China, the Chi-Coms, responds. Take a look.
We'll also discuss our deep concerns with actions by China, including in Xinjiang, Hong Kong, Taiwan, cyber attacks on the United States, economic coercion toward our allies. Each of these actions threaten the rules-based order that maintains global stability.
倒打一把是不行的。
Well, you can't blame this problem on somebody else.
I have to tell you, what I'm hearing is very different from what you described. I'm hearing deep satisfaction that the United States is back, that we're re-engaged with our allies and partners. I'm also hearing deep concern about some of the actions your government is taking.
我们把你们想得太好了，我们认为你们会遵守基本的外交礼节。
Well, I think we thought too well of the United States. We thought that the U.S. side will follow the necessary diplomatic protocols.
所以我们刚才必须阐明我们的立场。
So for China, it was necessary that we make our position clear.
我现在讲一句，你们没有资格在中国的面前说你们从实力的地位出发同中国谈话。
So let me say here that in front of the Chinese side, the United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
All right, so the video ended. We didn't show you everything that went on. We're only an hour show, but you saw he was calmly soft-pedaling the United States' concerns against China. You could barely understand that there was anger in it because there wasn't from Anthony Blinken. He was a wimp with the Chinese. Now, when they said, that was, by the way, Yang Jiechi, who is the Foreign Affairs Secretary of the Communist Party of China, and he went on to say that the United States does not speak from a position of moral superiority because you have Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter is not a result of just the last 4 years, meaning Donald Trump, that it has been around for a while because America's racist and America's this and America's that. And he came off with more of what you just saw, which it was like you were listening to paint dry, and they were owning him. He should have responded that they have slave labor, that all of their factories are manned by people who are making less than 99 cents a day, maybe in some cases a week. I'm not exaggerating, so that we can have cheap Chinese products here in America, and you're underselling your people. He should have said you have Muslim Uyghurs in concentration camps. We don't do that. We pander to Muslims. We welcome them into our borders so that they can blow up marathons, buildings with planes, and Christmas holiday parties in San Bernardino. Oh, and military bases, Fort Hood. I forgot that. And also gay nightclubs. He didn't say that. He did not, and of course, he's not going to say it exactly the way I put it, but he did not point out any of these things from a position of strength and with any fervor whatsoever. This guy is milquetoast. He's a disaster. And so is Joe Biden. They don't think, by the way, that China is the problem. Why would they? China made Hunter Biden a billionaire. Yeah, you didn't hear about Hunter Biden for a while, have you? You haven't heard about him. $1.5 billion to him and his partners from a bank run by the Communist Party of China. So, of course, Joe Biden is not going to kill the golden Biden goose. There is something underlying this, and that is that. And there's more. He thinks the enemy is Russia. We showed you yesterday that he said Vladimir Putin is a killer, which we know that he is. We know that he's poisoned human rights activists. I'm not going to poo-poo that or soft sell that. We know that he's put other human rights activists in jail, in prison, but he is not the killer who's the biggest threat. There are killers all over the world that are our allies. Joe Biden, as I said yesterday, is chasing after them. He's chasing after Hassan Rouhani, the president of Iran, who is regularly murdering Christians and gays and human rights activists in his country. Regularly doing so, kidnapping Americans. Joe Biden doesn't have any bad words to say about him. This is going to be the kind of foreign policy we're going to have, where we were going to focus on what is not the primary threat to America, Russia, and we are going to poo-poo the primary threats, which are China, which are Iran, which are Islamic terrorism, which are terrorists and other dangerous people coming over our borders. We are not attending to those needs. And this is going to be a disaster. It already is. We see what's going on in this country. Now, our Secretary of State is concentrating, by the way, on the important things. It's not telling off China. It's this. Take a look at my tweet from today. Yes, he's telling us about his delicious sundubu jjigae, a Korean dish that he had back in 2016. See that? He's an Instagram model, Anthony Blinken. He thinks he's a social media influencer. Isn't that fabulous? They're playing, I hate to use this term because it's so overused, but they're playing chess. We're only playing checkers. And not only that, but they're playing 3D chess. America is the loser in this. All right, now, while he is falling all over the Chinese and falling on the floor, trying to one-up them, they own him, we've got our own president who is also falling. Take a look at this video. That's our president who doesn't know where he is, doesn't know who's really the president. He said it was Kamala Harris the other day, and we showed you the video, and he can't stand up straight or walk up a few steps. This guy is not long for this White House. I've been saying it. I'll keep saying it, but I won't keep saying it for very long because I'm telling you, he is not going to be there for very long. Just watch. 2 years and a day into his presidency, Kamala is going to assume the role she's already playing, and that is as president. And I guess the best thing you can say for that video is at least he's falling down upwards instead of just falling down. All right, when we come back, I want to talk to you about the hypocrisy of what some of the media are doing regarding COVID. They are praising a very old woman doing something that's very dangerous, but they're worried about spring breakers. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero Binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee.
We'll even ship them to you free.
This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty. You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-314-7809.
Attention, have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-6755.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-698-2970.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So the hysteria over COVID continues, even though it doesn't merit it. I thought this vaccine was supposed to cure all, but apparently it hasn't, according to the experts. Why? Because they want to hold on to power. And that includes the media, who want us to stay home. Help they're in the tank with the leftists. They don't want us to live our lives. They want to help maintain control over our lives and assert themselves over us and assert government over us. And part of that is their hysteria that has been ongoing in these recent weeks as spring break is going on over spring break. The sky is falling. People are in bikinis on the beach. And they're hypocrites because you can see the picture of the woman over my shoulder. That is 101-year-old Sister Jean. Full name, Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt. She is that nun you've probably seen all over the media over the last several years. She is a fan of Loyola Marymount. She goes to all of their games, to Loyola Chicago. And she is also apparently she also is apparently friends with their chaplain, and she got their chaplain cleared to go to March Madness, the NCAA. So she is going to be traveling to that as well. And you have to wonder, I don't care if she's been vaccinated, I don't care if she's wearing a mask, you have to wonder why they are cheering on a person that is 101 years old, she'll be 102 in August, to go this is risky. I mean, Anthony Fauci is telling everybody, even if you've been vaccinated, you need to wear a mask. You can't go out alone. You don't really know, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And yet they're all up in arms about people in bikinis and swimsuits on the beach of Miami or elsewhere in Florida. They're going to spread the disease. Now, these are, remember, kids. I mean, they're not all kids. Many of them are in their 20s. Many of them are adults who are 18 and older, but they are young. They're not in the high-risk group. If you're 101 years old, you're in the highest risk group that there is. They're cheering her on to go to see Loyola play. Why is it? Why are they cheering her on? Shouldn't they be telling her, stay home, wear 2 masks, stay 6 feet apart from everyone, including the mailman? Shouldn't they be doing that? I don't know. Don't ask me, because I'm told to trust the science. And the science I was told is that the vaccine worked. Now the new science I'm being told is that, well, maybe it works, but you still need to wear masks. You still shouldn't go to the movies. You still shouldn't go to restaurants. You still shouldn't fly. You shouldn't have weddings. You shouldn't have 4th of July celebrations, Independence Day. You shouldn't do anything until 2050. That's the attitude. So why are they cheering her on? But people who are in a much less risky category, going to spring break in Florida, they're the ones that are in danger, and they're going to be super spreaders, which has, by the way, not come to fruition, and it won't. All right, so that's Sister Jean. Now, I want you to take a look at video of one of the naysayers, one of the people who keeps telling us, well, even if you get the vaccine, shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, no restaurants, no movies, no travel, no weddings. Anthony Fauci, that's right. So take a look at this video of him and Rand Paul, and I think we know who got the best of this situation.
You're telling everybody to wear a mask, whether they've had an infection or a vaccine. What I'm saying is they have immunity, and everybody agrees they have immunity. What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection are spreading the infection? If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater?
No, it's not.
The vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts. Okay, the studies that you quote from Crotty and Sete look at in vitro examination of memory immunity, which in their paper they specifically say this does not necessarily pertain to the actual protection. It's in vitro.
And what study can you point to that shows significant reinfection? There are no studies that show
Just let me finish the response to your question, if you please. The other thing is that when you talk about reinfection and you don't keep in the concept of variants, that's an entirely different ballgame. That's a good reason for a mask. In the South African study conducted by J&J, they found that people who were infected with wild type and were exposed to the variant in South Africa, the 351, it was as if they had never been infected before. They had no protection. So when you talk about reinfection, you've got to make sure you're talking about wild type. I agree with you that you very likely would have protection from wild type for at least 6 months if you're infected. But we in our country now have variants that are circulating.
Significant reinfection. What study shows significant reinfection, hospitalization, and death after either natural infection or the vaccine? It doesn't exist. There is no evidence that there are significant reinfections after vaccine. In fact, I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination.
All right, so first thing you probably noticed, aside from them talking, is neither of them is wearing a mask. So Anthony Fauci believes that you have to wear a mask because of variants, as you just heard, that the vaccine doesn't matter. Now, he's been vaccinated, but by his own logic, he should be wearing a mask because what about variants? And he should be telling Rand Paul, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. You're too close. Variants. Because variants. He's not doing that because he's a hypocrite. He doesn't really believe these things. What he does believe is, I love fame. I love the attention. I love throwing out balls at Yankees games or whatever game it was. I think it was the Baltimore Orioles, whatever. He loves the attention and the adulation. And he also loves being our national nanny and asserting power over us instead of going back to his life and letting us go back to ours. That is what is going on here. He says to Rand Paul, again with the theater, but he doesn't refute anything. He talks about studies in Africa. He talks about wild type. He talks about how the variants may change things. But we've already shown you on this show with graphics that the variants have been here. And they were predicting there would be many, many new cases. And the variants actually have not done that. We showed you the graphs where it kept going down. It's not going back up. So he asked him, Rand Paul asked Anthony Fauci, where are your studies? There are no studies that show this, that after the vaccine or after exposure to the variants that there's reinfection after you've already had COVID or you've already been vaccinated. Where are the studies that show death, reinfection, hospitalization, and death? And Anthony Fauci could not cite any of those studies. So he cited other studies that aren't the same thing. And that's what he does because he wants to keep this going. He doesn't want it to end. We want it to end. He wants this to go on forever. By the way, I note that he is in his 80s, so he's in a very high-risk group. And again, no mask. If these variants are such a threat, why isn't he wearing one? All right, when we come back, we will show you what some teachers' unions are being caught doing and what hypocrites they are. And Senator Kennedy, video of what he had to say about this. He's right on the money. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So before the break, we were talking about the hysteria over COVID continuing, undeservedly so. We need to reopen America. We need to go back to our lives, and we need to recognize that the vaccine should work. And if it doesn't work, then why did Anthony Fauci get one? Why did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get one? We need to move on. Now, I am not getting a vaccine, and I've told you why. In fact, because, first of all, I do believe I had COVID a year ago, January, and I think I probably still have the antibodies. The New York Times quoted studies that say you could have them for decades. Number two, I don't trust things that are just quickly tested and not at the subject of long-term studies. Vaccines that are effective, that have no side effects, are the ones that have been the subject of long-term studies. There are no long-term studies here. This is new. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not going to be a guinea pig. Sorry. We've just had too many reports of people taking these. Too many European countries even shutting down the AstraZeneca shot because things have happened. I mean, we told you earlier in the week the story about Marvelous Marvin Hagler and the story about why he supposedly died after taking the vaccine. So I don't need to have that happen to me. Better 6 feet above and maybe 6 days in the hospital if that, God forbid, happens to me, than 6 feet under because I took this that was highly touted but not tested for even a year. It just wasn't. This was sped up, and I don't trust it. But for those that do, it was supposed to work. I mean, Fauci touted it. Fauci said it would work. Joe Biden is taking credit for it. 100 million doses in 100 days, even though that was Trump. Trump did that. All right, so the teachers' unions are among the biggest purveyors of the hysteria, the undue hysteria. Why? Because they're getting paid whether or not they go to work, and they'd love to stay home, wouldn't you? They'd love to stay home and just keep getting their salary, wouldn't you? They are, because under their collective bargaining agreements, their unions have protected them. They're getting paid, but they don't want to go back to school because, you know, that takes time. They actually have to be in the building and concentrate on their job. We all know that working at home sometimes involves doing a lot of other things, relaxing, having fun, etc. I'm not saying that you can't be an effective at-home worker. Many people are, and that's one of the lessons of the pandemic. However, teachers don't want to go to work. And you know who needs to go to work because they need to be in person? Teachers and students. Why? Because via Zoom. Like I said, I'm not saying you can't be an effective worker working from home. Doesn't work, especially for the younger students in elementary school, in junior high, and in high school. They need to be at school. They need the social interaction. They need the interaction with teachers. And we've told you about the many signs that are not discovered because teachers are teaching via Zoom. Signs of child abuse, learning deficiencies, seeing whether children are really fully paying attention. You just don't get that. And we've showed you all the stories where students' grades have suffered, reading skills have suffered. America is going to become a lesser advanced nation, less advanced of a nation because of this. Other countries are teaching their kids in person. They've gone back to school if they ever pulled their kids out of school. So I want you to take a look at, there was a teachers union that warned teachers against going on vacation. Why? Because they said don't go on vacation, but don't share the pictures on video. Don't share it on your social media. Don't share videos. Don't share pictures. Don't go on Instagram. Don't go on Facebook or Twitter. Why? Because people will see you're on vacation. And if you can go on vacation, mixing with other people, you can teach in person. Many teachers' unions actually are instructing their teachers. And we saw a story where one specific union did it, but many are doing that. Now, before we go more into that, I want you to take a look at this video. This is a video of Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, and he's talking about how he wants Joe Biden to take up the reins to urge teachers to go back to school. Joe Biden is not involved, and in fact, Jen Psaki, we've showed you videos of this. Jen Psaki has been asked by reporters, shouldn't kids go back to school? And she won't take a position. And she says, well, we're not the voice of the national teachers unions. But in fact, they basically are, because the national teachers unions endorsed them. They always endorse the Democrats, always. They don't endorse people like Trump. So they are allies. And that's why Joe Biden won't say anything. But Senator Kennedy has a great point. Watch this.
The shame to me of all of this is, and if I can see this, and you can see this, the American people can see this. But what to me is unconscionable is the fact that the Biden administration won't demand that we open the schools. We are doing irreparable damage to our kids, and some of them are going to catch up. Look, I couldn't name you the first 6 presidents of the United States in proper order, but I will never forget my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade teacher. And we have kids who haven't been in school for a year because of politics, and that's unconscionable. And I think President Biden can do something about it if he's willing to.
All right. He absolutely can do something about it if he's willing to. And Senator Kennedy's right. I remember the names of all of my teachers as well, better than I do the names of our first presidents and so on. That's just a fact. These are people who are very involved in kids' lives in their early development that will last lifelong, and these kids are hurting because of it. Joe Biden does not want to tell the teachers' unions and the teachers themselves to go back to work. Why? Because the teachers' unions will come back at him. Maybe they won't endorse him next time. They'll never endorse a Republican, but they will endorse third parties, leftists, or they'll just stay out of it. Joe Biden can't afford that, or I should say Kamala, because she's really the president. Now, I talked to you earlier about this teachers union. I want to tell you more about it. It's the UTLA, the Union of Teachers of Los Angeles, in Facebook posts, warn members not to post vacation photos. But like I said, I've read stories where other teachers unions have done that too. Why? Because we've seen presidents of teachers unions. A teachers union leader from Chicago was seen on vacation in Puerto Rico. And she said, oh, we can't teach in person, it's unsafe. But yet it was very safe for her to travel to Puerto Rico and mingle with all kinds of people while traveling there and until she got there and while she's there. These people are hypocrites. So this was from Bill Malugin, who is from Fox LA. We're going to show you another tweet from him in a minute, but he's the one that actually uncovered the story about UTLA, the United Teachers of Los Angeles. And he found their Facebook group, which was a members-only group, so you couldn't see it. But he somehow got in, and they are refusing to return to what they call unsafe in-person schooling. And that's where they told people, friendly reminder, if you are planning any trips for spring break, please keep that off of social media. All right, they also said, it's hard to argue that it is unsafe for in-person instruction if parents and the public see vacation and international travel. Well, of course, because you're admitting by taking a vacation that it's plenty safe. So don't say it's hard to argue. When you say that, you're admitting you're lying, because you are. And these teachers' unions are lying. All right, when we come back, we'll show you some of those tweets from Bill Malugin about what they're doing to restaurant and other business owners in California versus what they're doing in Florida. Because of COVID, it's unconscionable, it's outrageous, and we'll show you what it is after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-716-5189. 1-800-716-5189.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So before the break, we were talking about some of the mass hysteria that at this point should be well over and done with regarding COVID. And I want you to take a look at some tweets from Bill Malugin of Fox LA and the local news channel there. What they're doing in California, look at this. A Los Angeles Superior Court has authorized the city of Burbank to disconnect the electricity of a restaurant after remaining open in defiance of a temporary restraining order. So that's what they're doing in California. And that reporting actually was done by Bill Malugin. And I want you to take a look at what he has to say. He makes a very great comparison between Florida and California, because the other day, Ron DeSantis, who I think is going to be our next president, and he better be the Republican nominee, because I think he's probably the only one, if Trump doesn't run, who can beat whoever is the Democrat president, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Says, what a difference it approaches. Everything open in Florida. Governor DeSantis overturns all COVID-19 fines against businesses, while here in LA County, we're revoking permits, operating licenses, and cutting electricity to businesses that kept their outdoor dining open during the LA ban. This is why people are leaving California. This is why Gavin Newsom is going to be recalled. Probably will be. There are over 2 million signatures. This is why California is a cesspool, and people are sick of it. That is the laboratory. It's ground zero of communism in America. Not socialism, communism. The state giveth, the state taketh away. You have no say in the matter. Whereas Ron DeSantis is the exact opposite. He is ground zero of freedom in America. Him and also Kristi Noem. We would be remiss in not mentioning her from our neighbors in the South in South Dakota. All right, so I want you to take a look at these two tweets that we're going to dig a little deeper into this regarding Anthony Fauci and Joe Biden. So take a look at our first tweet. Look at this. So since Biden on January 21st said that COVID would get worse before it gets better, cases are down 72%. On March 7th, Fauci said our plateau is unacceptable. Yesterday was the fewest cases in 5+ months. It's an impressive feat. This is from ENMSC, and that's one of the accounts that I look at all the time because he's got great data. He always has graphs, and look at the graph. Look at where Biden said it will get worse. Anthony Fauci says it's a plateau. It's not a plateau. Look at that. It is going down. It is way down. It's way down from when the very time that Biden said it will get worse. All right, the variants have been here during all that time. It's still going down. All right, let's take a look at the next tweet. All right, so this is, he says it's astounding Fauci has been able to get away with this because he keeps praising California following his advice, and he keeps attacking Florida because Ron DeSantis believes in freedom. California has reported new deaths every day for 4 months afterwards and has never had to face a single adversarial question. Anthony Fauci has never had to face a single adversarial question about it until he met Rand Paul the other day. That's the only guy, the only. All right, so there's that. Now, I want you to take a look at this other tweet from somebody else, actually, regarding restrictions in the Midwest. So look at this. COVID cases in the Midwest, states that have not completely removed restrictions versus states that have since January 1st. Look at, it's almost the same line. Look at that. So the restrictions don't work, and yet Anthony Fauci was telling Rand Paul we still need them because of variants. But do you see any spike in there since we've had the variants? The variants came here end of February, beginning of March. No spike. It's the same. All right. Now, speaking of Anthony Fauci, the Babylon Bee had a great article, and take a look at, this is the headline, Dangerous Conspiracy Theorist Doesn't Believe Vaccines Work. Now, who's that conspiracy theorist? Well, you're looking at him. Hey, America, don't get Fauched. All right? Now, speaking of the social distancing, which he keeps touting that. Look at what the New York Times just admitted. Take a look at this. Do we have the tweet for that? The New York Times? All right, look at that. After a full year, they put this in. They don't know where that 6-foot social distancing recommendation came from. They say the origin is a mystery. It's almost like it was pulled out of thin air, says Lindsay Marr, an expert on viral transmission at Virginia Tech. It was pulled out of thin air. Why 6 feet and not 5? Why 6 feet and not 7? And why is Anthony Fauci still touting this? They keep telling us, trust the science. Is thin air, pulling things out of thin air, the science? No, it's not. Trust the science. What is the science? Where is the science behind this? They don't know because they just made it up. They pulled it out of their ears. All right, now, finally, on our COVID trail, I want you to take a look at where some of this $1.9 trillion went to in stimulus relief. Look at this tweet of what this mom did. All right, a 2-year-old, this is very tragic. 2-year-old Kentucky boy, he died after eating his mother's fentanyl that she bought with the stimulus money. All right? Yay, stimulus. And now this boy is dead. That's stimulus for you. All right, now, it is Friday, and usually on Friday we do our NoFilter movie reviews. I'm not going to start with the first movie because it's the best one, and I want to give it all the time that it deserves. So I'll go into one of the other movies that I hated, and it's called Last Call. So Last Call is with Jeremy Piven. Do we have any footage from that? I don't know if we have it in the right order because I went out of order. Apologies to my director and producers. Last Call, this stars Jeremy Piven. I hated this movie. Why? Because it's nonsensical. It's stupid. You could tell what's going on, but it's like, who cares? It is boring. I looked at my watch repeatedly, or my phone, to see what time it was. It just slogged by. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's just dumb. And it's a waste of your time. Like I said, it looks like a 2-year-old created this movie. The plot, if you could call it that, is that Jeremy Piven is trying to get a casino built in his hometown that he used to live in. He's a boy that's left home and done well for himself, and now he's come home, a guy that's done that. And his mother died. His father owns a bar. He wants to take over the bar. He hangs out with his friends. I made it sound even more exciting than it is. It is just a bore. Skip this movie. My rating on this movie is 3 Marxes because this is 2 hours of my time I'll never get back for dreck. All right. When we come back, we will do the rest of our No Filter movie reviews after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree dental card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree dental card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree dental card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree dental card, you save $525. The Carefree dental card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-6179 to receive your Carefree dental card information kit. 1-800-416-6179. Call now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-4816.
Who do you trust with your digital life? Not all cloud backup providers keep your data truly private. Beck Cloud Backup uses advanced multi-layer encryption to keep your family photos, videos, and sensitive business documents secure and only for your eyes. Your Beck Lightband Internet service already includes 50 gigs of free storage to keep your digital life safe and secure. Call us at 701-475-2361 to start using your Beck Cloud Backup today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So before the break, we began our No Filter movie reviews. It's Friday, and here is what's new and what I thought about it. So this is a great movie. This is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, probably all year, and definitely since the beginning of this year, 2021, and it is called The Courier. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch as in a little known story about a British businessman, an average businessman. You probably never heard of him. His name is Greville Wynn, and Greville Wynn was recruited by the CIA and MI6, which is the British intelligence agency, to spy on the Soviet Union. He did this using his businessman profession as a cover. He sold goods in the Soviet Union to the Soviet government, pretended to be a greedy businessman who didn't care about ideologies or communism, and risked his life and those of others to, well, he didn't risk others' lives, but he had to have interactions with Soviets who were actually not on our side, but wanted to help stop some of the actions of the Soviet Union, and their lives were risked too. This was a very risky operation, and things happened to people as a result. What I loved about this movie is it makes no bones about what communism is really about. Usually from Hollywood, you get the garbage from them that communism wasn't so bad, and if we only put it into action here in America, which is basically the plan of the Democrat Party, then we would all have life as a bed of roses, and cotton candy would grow on trees, and the streets would be paved with gold. This movie doesn't have that fantasy. This movie shows you the reality of communism, how bad the conditions are, how inhumane the government was in the Soviet Union, and it also doesn't engage in the typical Hollywood moral equivalency of the West and the Soviet Union. That, in other words, the United States and Great Britain are just as bad as the communists. We're the same as them. No, no, no. We're the good guys, and this movie showed that in spades. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And on top of that, it's just a great movie. Very suspenseful, wasn't bored for a second. Benedict Cumberbatch does his usual excellent acting, and it just was a very entertaining story, and I learned something. I never heard of Greville Wynn. This is, again, during the Cold War, and this man was a hero. Greville Wynn helped resolve the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the U.S. avoid a disaster from that. So, great story. It gets my highest rating possible, which is 4 Reagans. Go see this movie, The Courier. I want to see it do big numbers. Hollywood needs to see that we support these kinds of movies, so they'll make more of them. You know what? Capitalism works. They make money, they will make more. Another new movie I really enjoyed that actually was out last weekend, but they did not screen it for critics. I went to go see it on my own, that I highly recommend, The Long Weekend. Now, if you're over the age of 55 or 60, you may not like this. I happen to enjoy it a lot. I can't really say a lot of what it's about because it will give away the plot. There are 2 giant twists in this, but I'll tell you this. And I kind of guessed some of it because I accidentally listened to a review where I think they gave away too much information. I won't. It's about a guy who's down and out on his luck. He's had some mental issues and depression. He lost either his wife or his girlfriend because of his actions and his behavior. He's trying to get his life together. He lost his job. He's trying to get a new job. He's moved in with friends. Can't afford his apartment. And one night he goes to the movies, had drinks, and meets this woman there. They get together and have a relationship. And then things start moving. I really enjoyed this movie. Can't tell you what the twists are, but I think you'll like it. My rating on this movie is 3.5 Reagans. I didn't give it 4 because there are a couple of lines in the script that I thought were politically correct, and I take back points for that because don't try to Don't try to propagandize me in a movie. I don't want it. Just tell me a good story. Don't use crutches. All right, but it's still a great movie. 3.5 Reagans. All right. Now, the next new movie this weekend is Colette. Now, this has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Short. It is a short movie. It's about 21 minutes long. It's about Colette, a French woman who's very old. I believe she's 90 or 91. She goes, oh, that's not the Colette I was talking about. I did not know there were two Colettes. So the one you're watching the footage of isn't it. Sorry. But it's about Colette, an older woman. It's a documentary. She's 90 or 91. She goes to Auschwitz to visit where her brother was gassed to death. Her brother was in the French partisans and fought against the Nazis. It's a sad movie. It's a dark movie, but it's important, and I hope it wins the Oscar. I give it 1.5 Reagans. Then the next new movie is kind of an older movie from this year. It's recent. It's called Relic. It was supposed to be a scary movie. I wasn't all that scared. It was slightly scary for a brief amount of time. This woman and her daughter go to her mother's house, her aging mother, who seems to be possessed by demons. It's really slow and boring. Nothing really ever happens. And then when it does happen, it's the end. I didn't really care for it. I give this movie only half a Reagan because it was mildly entertaining. So that is Relic. And then finally, the last new movie, it's not really new, but it's a recent movie, is Hunter x Hunter. I hated this movie. This movie was absolutely horrible, very slow, nothing ever really happens, and then it's just gross and disgusting. And I see a lot of stuff. I'm not very jaded, or I am very jaded about a lot of these movies. Nothing really phases me anymore, but in this movie it did. So there's a family living in the middle of a forest illegally on federal land at their cabin. And they hunt animals for a living, and they hunt pelts to sell so that they can make money. They live a very rudimentary existence because they don't have a lot of money, they don't have indoor plumbing, and then they are haunted and targeted by this crazy wolf that kills everything and everybody, and then they encounter this criminal in the woods, and horrible, disgusting things happen. The end. I hated this movie. My rating is 4 Marxes. And finally, it is the weekend. I want to leave you with this. This is from Hulu. Take a look at this picture of 2 movies. They got it right. Who killed Jeff Epstein? And then next to it, Hillary. I think they got that right. Well done, Hulu, as Michael Knowles said. And remember, things aren't always as they seem. Have a great weekend.